Well, hello there, and welcome to another one line of code. I am One Line, and this is a show where we have fun with code. Hello, Deflux. How are you doing? I hope you're doing fantastic. We're gonna hop right into it. So we've been playing around with this project, the financial management tracker. We've been working on some of the lookup item stuff. Hello, Bob Ross. Hi. I saw you in Simple Game Dev's stream lurk in there. You changed your color to a gold color for your stream avatar. Ooh. Yay. Okay, so I don't really remember what happened when we tried the delete that we just implemented yesterday. Whoa, it's weird that I can actually say yesterday. Uh, no, not the bot. The financial management tracker. We were working on deleting an account type. So let's just see what we got. Okay, so we still have a record for the one that I'm pretty sure that we're trying to delete. Maybe. Maybe. Okay, so we're going to try to delete this one. So let's give it a shot. CD. This. Done and watch. So what's going on today? It's Thursday. It's Friday Eve. Hope you're all having a fantastic day so far. Enjoying yourselves. If you are wanting to be productive, then I hope the productive energy is there. If not, you can borrow some of mine. I've been doing quite a bit of learning and tutorialing lately. Okay, so we're going to try the delete. And the button doesn't look like it error. Oh yeah. Account view model with ID 6. Oh, because I'm trying to do account view model, which there was an issue with account. We were able to delete an account type. Well, let's just make sure that we can delete an account type. Lookup item view model, lookup account type. Okay, so that one gave us a 200 OK, record ID 6, one record affected, and back in the database cave, we still have the record there. No need. Oh, no. We mark it as deleted. That's what the deal is. We mark it as deleted. Bob Ross is saying, I keep trying to get ChatGPT to help me create a custom private key based encryption method, a little bit like RSA. That's cool. That's one of those things where I was talking about yesterday a little bit, where I think that because of how imperfect ChatGPT is, but how close, how like really, really close it gets, it's going to help us get pretty far along with whatever we're trying to accomplish. And then we just need to understand what the little minutia details are that we're missing and then get it to work eventually. Update it. But anyway, so yes, we can delete still. And that was an update that happened just now. So back to account then. I was having trouble deleting accounts, I think. No, I'm not. We were able to delete accounts, I guess, at the end of the last stream, and there were no errors. So let me just verify one more time because I don't know that for sure. Account view model. And then we'll try a payee actually after this. Account view model 5, I think was the ID. 5. And for now, let's just set it to false to not deleted. And when we push the button, we get no errors, record affected 1. And refresh this. And it shows true, deleted. Perfect. Okay, so payee would be the last one that I want to try. Payee would be the last one. Hello? So Bob Ross is saying I need it to not use any external libraries, so I can't use the cryptography library from Python or Fernet in Python. Gotta be bare bones. Yeah, I mean, cryptography is not an easy thing to understand. So I really do hope it'll teach you some things and that you'll be able to get pretty close. But again, don't be discouraged if you don't quite get ChatGPT to give you the answers. Because the other thing that you need is some knowledge of the actual domain that you're working in, because you don't know if ChatGPT is giving you the right answer. Like most of the time, it gives you something again that looks like the right answer, but isn't quite. Oh, deflux. Sorry, I sent that encrypted. All right, so this says that we deleted record number 3, and if we refresh the table, sure enough, deleted flag is set to true. Yay! So delete is done. Let's do update. First of all, let's do the client side. Client side update. Are you done? No. No, of course not. Why would it be? Why would the client side update be done? So update is going to be pretty much the same thing as add. Except that instead of a post, it's going to be a put. Why are you so laggy? Right, and then the controller should already be forwarding the request to the server-side service. If we're using an API request, of course. Otherwise, we'd be doing it directly on the server. But Russ says, I need it to be bare bones because I'm porting it over to another programming language that doesn't have many libraries, such as in Rust. Are you still doing stuff in Rust? I know you did your first foray into it. It's over. Whoa, what happened to my sound clip? It's over 9, there it goes. That was very lagged. Hi, Tiger Pleb. Not Rust. Ray script. I haven't heard of it either. Then again, not surprising. There are a lot of things that I haven't heard of. Okay. Update, 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 update. Update is going to be the same as add, except with an update. So I'm just going to copy all of add, pasta, and then we're going to do the opposite here, where if lookup list is null, if lookup list is not null, Oh wait, no. If lookup list is null, then that means that uh, there is no actual database record for it. Okay. So if lookup list is null, then we didn't actually find the record that we're looking for. And instead of display text, we need the ID. Yeah, this is where I really, really need, man. Oh, wait, we already know this. We can use value text because the value text is the ID for the table. So that's okay. It's based on Lua slash miniscript. I don't know miniscript. And hello, prog testing. There are things I haven't heard of yet. Luckily, I have ChatGPT. Yeah, it really like I I'm not usually one that goes with the crowd, I guess, but ChatGPT is something special in my opinion. Like it's not perfect, but man, it's so freaking cool. I didn't know they were doing sponsorships. This is not sponsored, Deflux. How dare. They don't even charge you to use it. How could this be how could this be sponsored? And even debug the code without being in game. So I write the code in VS Code, copy paste it over into the game to compile it. Oh, is this the black hat like one, or is this the one that you were wanting to buy? I mean, it's a good model, if you ask me, Deflex. Especially with people knowing that it's a really impressive piece of technology. Like you would kind of expect it to eventually go to some kind of paid model, especially if they start allowing you to do API requests to it. That would be awesome. I think when people say ChatGPT is going to take over the programming industry, I think they are ridiculous. It can't even get what I want correct, so it's not going to be able to get the intricate details that a human would require being done unless it knows what it needs to do, which sometimes it doesn't. And that is true, and it will get better and it'll get closer. And even if it does get to the point where it can write code flawlessly, it is not going to take over programming. Still need people with, again, industry knowledge. At the moment, again, it could still get even better, but it's not going to be for a while, I don't think. But again, even if it does, there will be other things that we can do as developers. So I wouldn't be too concerned about if you're a developer in the industry, you're still going to have a job, even if ChatGPT becomes perfect. The hope is that AI language comes out. AI language? Like, my hope is that I'd be able to use ChatGPT to develop my own skill for doing something beyond for increasing my creativity and outputting something, because you and I would still be able to write software and put it out there. We might not be working for major companies that are using AI to write their software for them, but we will handcraft software. You and I will. And we'll handcraft even more creative software because we're not only skilled with doing actual software development, but we're also taking cues from ChatGPT for how we can improve what we are doing and accomplish even more. It's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger, the field of what we can do. People that feel threatened by it are not developers. Potentially, I don't know. I mean, I still think that there are developers that have the mindset that, oh my gosh, there's going to be something taking away my work. It's just like, manual labor being taken over by industrial labor. But it just changed what it looks like to do manual labor. And yeah, maybe a lot less people are needed to do the work, but those people went on to do other things. But again, that's all just speculation and opinion. So if I am far from the truth, if I am completely wrong over time, I'm allowed to be. Live coding says, I also like the it's just a tool take. Oh, agreed. Okay, so we are updating the record. Oh, right. First, we gotta start tracking changes. And to do that, we just go context.attach for update. And there is no attach async still, right? Since the last 24 hours. Meanwhile, I'm trying to resist making a aren't we all just a tool joke? There, I feel better. You don't have to prevent yourself from making that joke slash ironic statement because it's somewhat true. Satirical statement. I'm manually clearing poison pills right now from our repetitive cues. I'm calling it juice cleanse. Are there actual things called poison pills? And if so, are they like in a specific queue, like dead letter queues, or it sounds like it should be a thing. If it's not, you should coin that. Poison pill is a real thing with queue-based processing. I didn't invent it. Aw. Barbara said, you would think this prompt would be quite self-explanatory, but it struggles to understand. Create a custom 256-bit key-based encryption in C without any libraries. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Like whenever I have asked ChatGPT a question for something like, I actually have a concrete example right here. How do I make a minimal API that runs as a service? Create and train AI. So my question was, can you walk me through creating and training an AI that can be used in Unity? Sure, here's what you can do. For the first step, um, the scripts, what would the voice script look like? How would the processor, like, it just feels like I really am having a conversation with an intelligent system that is responding to the context, including all of the historical stuff that we talked about. Like, I'd reference something from 4 questions ago, and it would be like, yeah, let me print out the text for that again. But I would ask it, I can't find it now. Can you show me how to do this without using a reference library or something like that? And it's like, sure, all you have to do is add this library using NuGet. I'm like, like I want to create it from scratch. Yeah, I can't find. It's funny. I can't find the example that I was trying to get at. I asked it so many questions, and then had some existential conversations. Those are fun. Those are really fun. Prog testing says what I use ChatGPT for is like a better Google that saves me time. Maybe. Again, I have another maybe to that one because it will give you an answer and it sounds like a correct answer. And you can start following that thread and then maybe try whatever the answer is that it gives you. But what if that answer is wrong? And you start going through and you spend 30 minutes to an hour following that line of, yeah, okay, I'm going to try that. Only to find out that in this next step, there is no method called .read resource as XML in whatever library it tells you to use. And not only that, but the library doesn't exist. And everything was hinging on that library. And you're just like, I just used all that time following this rabbit trail. And then everything else before that is maybe usable, maybe not. Live coding said we have maybe literally 100 retries for this message, which times out after an hour. So even though we have dead letter queues, this one is effectively poison pill. And it's because it keeps retrying. Deflex said, well, the whole of Google is flipping poop and reorganizing to take on the ChatGPT threat. Are they? Rock testing says no, but questions like why choose Postgre over MySQL, stuff like that is good. Yeah, I think so. I agree with you. It's really good at sentiment analysis and summarizing, like really, really good. Scarily good. No need to click, but for those interested, here is some information about what Deflix was just talking about. Thanks for sharing. All right. So I'm trying to think of a good way to do a patch for these two records because for the most part, I should be able to do something like is there are two special cases, one for account and one for payee. And then the default case is any other lookup item view model that only has the fields of name and sort order and last updated and all of that stuff. So let's go ahead and do the common fields first. I wonder if maybe I could do a patch extension method. Would it be an extension method? I think it would be an extension method. So let's go find where I put this one. Oh yeah, down here. So if I created a public static int, no, public static, I guess it would be void because I'd be manipulating the object in place by reference. So public static void patch this I lookup item with I lookup item updated model. And so the thing that we will always update are the name, sort order. Maybe we'll do date, updated date, deleted, deleted. I thought it was going to hear me. And that's it. Those would be the only fields that all of them share. Then we have those two special cases that I talked about. So switch model case account. But how is it able to get? Ah, it just casts it. Oh, that's nice. That's cool. I like that. Case payee. Are you going to fill in this for me? Unless payee doesn't really have any extra fields either. It has the categories. So that's going to be a to-do. Update the categories list associated with the pay. Breca. Breca orcs. Cool. So that should make our update pretty easy. All we should have to do is attach the original record so that we start tracking changes. And then we can call for update dot patch our passed in view model, which is called data entry view model dot to entity model. Hello. Wow. I am super duper laggy right now. What is going on? It doesn't look terrible. Oh, about to sneeze. I have 7 terminals open? I don't think so. I should only have 2. I have 2 open. Why do you say 7? Oh, I guess I have 2 more here. And it looks like the actual PowerShell windows that have the open terminals inside of them count as separate. So Yeah, I guess. Sure. That's all of them. Might be time for some pseudocode. Yeah, absolutely. And that's the other thing. You can combine the answers that ChatGPT gives you with another popular AI thing if you're doing .NET or I don't know what all uh, Copilot covers, but definitely .NET, and it'll get you even closer. Okay, so anyway, this should work. You better work for updating our records. The other thing I guess that I would want to do is account type dot account type is default. And that way we don't try to update the account type as well. We only update the account itself, the account record. So let's check that out, see if it's working. And if so, then this was the last functionality that we needed to update. So let's start with one of the generic lookup items. Nope, just this. So Bob Ross was saying, I don't even know where I'd start creating my own encryption. Yeah, that's where I was like, I want to create my own machine learning project that will eventually do sentiment analysis, conversation, and natural language processing, obviously, as part of it. Um, but I want to be able to train it myself. And so, what I would normally do when I'm trying to learn something new is do tutorials for the most basic thing possible. And then follow increasingly more difficult tutorials to add more functionality. So instead, what I did is I dropped the whole I want to create AI stuff because I know that I'm going to get to it, but I want to do something else first, which is just to create the Unity application. Yeah, Bob Ross is saying, like, maybe I create a 256-bit encryption, then I encrypt that using encryption key. And in order to get the correct data, it requires for the encryption key to be absolutely correct. Otherwise, the data is completely jumbled. Yeah, I mean, it all depends. Are you using PKI? Are you doing public private key? Are you doing shared key? Symmetric? Because there's a lot of math involved with that. Unity learning stream will be fun. Yeah, I mean, I'm doing it on my own this week. So I've already done a lot of stuff in Unity so far. I told Simple Game Dev this yesterday. He gave me some advice on how to continue the direction that I'm going, and it was pretty encouraging because it was stuff that I was already doing. Anyway, I just feel like I'm not actually retaining anything that I'm doing. So I know that that's just an artifact of learning a new skill, but it really feels like I've spent at least 60 hours or so in Unity. And there was a point where I was doing it consistently, but it still feels like I haven't really gained that much knowledge. But I am going to continue. I just need to, it feels like I just need to start over again with a very, very basic project. I need an actual record to update. So where is my lookup account type? Let's do this one. We're going to update the name and sort order of this one and deleted status. So that would mean that I need the value text in here. Okay. So because I have a specific type, I can set the ID, which is also going to set the value text, I think. And so this is ID 6. Let's verify. Are you going to set value text? Yep. So no, it's not. Oh, oh snap. Oh crap. I need it to though. Is this project open source? It is. It absolutely is. It is located on my project site on my GitHub at Financial Management. We're currently working in the Lookup List branch, which we are almost done. I'm just verifying that the last bit of it is complete. And once I am sure that the last bit of this is complete, then I'll do another commit to the repository and then merge into main. And then we'll create our next branch. Oh, to be honest, I find more fun playing with CLI tools than video games. Oh, that's what you mean. Why does it feel like I got bit? It itches. Oh, I think that game devs are just isn't really my kind of genre. And the thing is that mine isn't for game dev. Mine is for creating productivity applications in spatial computing. So I still want to continue doing the same type of work that I'm doing now, which is productivity applications, it's utility applications, functionality type of programming, not functional. I don't know how to do functional programming very well, but it does seem like it's fun. Prog testing sold me on it with F sharp. Um, but like the thing that I am pursuing the most right now is creating an IDE, which hopefully someone else is already doing this and taking off. And I don't care if someone else beats me to it because there are a million people in the world. And if they do, I hope they do it better than I could. But anyway, so creating an IDE to be used in the HoloLens and the Oculus, so in AR and VR, and any kind of mixed reality where you can create your application for VR, AR. And even desktop. Like, could you imagine creating a desktop game? For example, Irish John's game, Rise of Piracy, which was just announced up there from Stream Elements. Um, so imagine if he was able to see the actual map in front of him, just laid out on his desk, and he's tweaking things on there. He has his magic hand brush and he's using all of his Unity tools for help me place, and he's like, you know, positioning everything right there as if he's putting together a model scene. Uh, and then he is attaching scripts to it, and he's able to manipulate those scripts, watch what it does. Oh, it's so cool. No, actually, Bob Ross, I want to just make this thing reality so I can use it. That's the whole point of it. just think that something like that would change the way that games are being developed. Where if you are in the game as you are developing it, like looking around, you're moving this thing just over here and making sure that your solvers are all working. You're in a small room physically and you are adjusting all of your UI to match that room. UI being all of your 3D objects as well as your hand menus, your screens that end up in front of you. Anyway, I have big dreams. Okay. Okay. That's it. That's all I got. Okay. Anyway, ID equals 6. The other things I said I was going to update are sort order. We're going to change it to 5 instead of 6. And deleted, we're going to set to true. Excuse me, why doesn't the lookup item view model have a deleted flag? Oops. Okay, we should be fine now. We have a deleted flag. Last bit of C# I did was in August as Baba Ross, or the month before August. One of the two. Last bit of C# I did was 10 seconds ago. All right, we're going to try to update this record. Oh yeah, we're going to actually rename it. This lookup account type is going to be loan, for example. We're renaming it from my list item date timestamp to loan. 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 Okay, so let's give it a shot. Will it work? Will it blend? We got a 200 okay. Record ID 6, record count 1. Go back to the table, refresh it. We have sort order 5, name is loan. Last updated is right now a couple seconds ago. Deleted flag didn't get updated because I forgot to put that in my patch. No, I did. So why didn't deleted get updated? Because it's true. All right, let's see if I can update the deleted flag by resubmitting that. Refresh. And now it says false. Okay. All right, it's not deleted anymore. Yeah, definitely saw the stickers on your laptop. It's a thing. It's a thing. My laptop, actually, it's my mobile studio, uh, looks pretty bare. Hello, Marcus. Konnichiwa. But anyway, that worked. Account. Let's rename one of the accounts, such as in number 5. And we're going to rename it to some loan account. We're going to change the account type to the new one that we just created, which is 6. Not created, we just renamed it. So we're going to make it a 6. So back to this thing, we're going to make a new account view model. Number 5. We're going to rename it to my student loan. We're going to give it an account type ID of 6, change its sort order to 4, make it not deleted. And crash. Error 400, which we got before, which means that there was a field that didn't get populated that is supposedly required, which is account name, which should have gotten updated right there. So how did account, oh, account type.name. Right. Okay. Which really bites. Item.account type.name. Yeah. That's really annoying. But it's okay because when we're putting together the UI for creating new records and for adding stuff, for updating existing records, it's going to have that information populated. So it will be fine. Everything will be fine. Account type. Loading. So hopefully by setting the account type, we will update account type.name like so. Hello, T. Williams. I wish I could be a nerd. I want to be a nerd. I'm just not smart enough. All right, and we didn't get an error this time. Instead, we got a record ID 5, number of affected records 1. We go back to the table, refresh, and now we have my student loan account type 6, not deleted. Sort order is now 4. Very cool. Right. So the other thing that would need to do is when we're manipulating them, we need to refresh all of the lookup items. And I think we'll go ahead and do payees, and then we'll call it good as long as payee works. So here is payee view model. There is no account type, and the payee that we're going to manipulate is view data. Number 4. You are lucky. Number 4. We're going to update the sort order to be 4. And we're going to call it internet service provider. And we're going to make it deleted because we don't have internet service providers anymore. We host ourselves. Man, I did get bit. This thing is itching. I was out shoveling snow this morning, so I really have no idea how I got bit. It was cold. That's about it. Aw, I get to be the treasurer, whatever the the role is. That's nice. Still doesn't make me a nerd. I just get to watch the nerds be cool or nerdy, which I think is pretty cool. We updated the record. Internet service provider, it is deleted, and sort order 4 with a date timestamp of just recent. Great. I'm going to call this done. We were able to implement all of the functionality of our lookup list. So let's do a quick fix to this button here. That's a temporary button. And the logic here so that it doesn't appear. Good, good, still running. All right, so let's stop the app. We'll commit the added the update logic, implemented the update lookup item logic. Cool. We'll commit and push, and we will do NPR. Implemented. We're going to merge into main. I create my pull request. I select some reviewers. They reviewed it and they're like, hey, this is awesome. All of my automated checks have run from my GitHub Actions, which I don't have any. All of my tests have run. I have this is my imagination, by the way. I have a pipeline on Azure DevOps that runs that this thing is listening for to make sure that it is able to build. It is, all the tests get run on it, and then it reports back that it was good. And so I merge. And I confirm the merge. I go back here. I go to my main branch. Do a pull. 0 out of 0 unit test ran successfully. Looks good to me. Thank you so much, Crypto Racer. I agree. I will read your messages in a couple seconds here, Bob Rosso. Okay. The thing that I wanted to check real quick is, does the app run? If so, then we'll call it good. App does compile and run. Here are my lookup items. I didn't break anything. Cool. Awesome, 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 awesome. Yeah, just use Discord. It'll be fine. Yeah, I mean, I didn't tell it not to allow you to put in links because that's just a link. That's all it is. All right, since that was successful, I am going to go ahead and delete the branch locally as well as in the repo. Did I actually close the repo too? I did not mean to close the repo. I meant to close the other instance. Delete branch. Yosh. Okay, so we are now back in main because all of the work that we needed to do for that branch is completed and checked in. I'm going to hop over to chat. And you probably, before tomorrow, if that is your home IP address, Bob Ross, you should probably recycle your modem if you have a dynamic IP address, because this is going to be on YouTube. Okay, not your home IP. Just know now I have chat showing up there on screen. And so that is going to be part of the internet forever. It's a recyclable cloud IP address. So let me catch up on what you said first, and then I'll take a look at that. So I can do functional programming. Great. It's just terrible. Functional programming is not terrible. It has a ton of uses. I might be able to get a new SSD for my computer. Oh, and you've never actually seen what this project looks like. Well, it doesn't look like much. We have this landing page with a fake login thing. These are placeholder styles and text and stuff. Few cards for when you're not logged in and you just want to see this public facing site. But again, this is personal. This is for yourself. And then I don't have any other other links, which should be up here to get to the various parts of the site. So I just put this really, really small sitemap type thing down here. But data entry will let you do payments. It'll let you do deposits and transfers. Again, we'll have the top nav bar when I flesh that out. And then we also have the transaction history table. The other thing that this thing is missing is and I guess I didn't really fill in much information about what that looks like, but the account summary information would be right here. So for each of your accounts, what is the current balance? What are your pending, the things that you've marked as pending, kind of thing. And then of course the colors are going to get updated to hopefully be more appealing than than this. And then it's going to be, you know, it's going to work. It's going to be responsive. It's going to be everything that we need it to be for a web app. You're going to be able to have a screen reader, read through all of it, tab to everything, make sure that we still have our outline on all of our focusable fields. It's going to be a great. Okay, what else did you say? I can do functional programming, great. It's just terrible. Apart from C, is C really functional programming though? It is not a functional programming language. It is an object-oriented programming language. You want Irish Town Games to hire you. Last bit of C# programming I did was August, or the month before August. One of the two. Did you guys see my laptop? In Rust, I'm working on a project called Rule, which is going to be an open source URL shortener. The API works on my machine, but when I have it on my cloud server, the redirection API route doesn't seem to work, even though it gets the correct data. You're just hurting the nerds. Nerd Herder hasn't been here for a while. He's been just busy, or whatever he's been doing. I believe that the issue is because if the redirect URL doesn't have HTTP or HTTPS at the beginning, it fails. I have just had to check the URL before I add it to the database and confirm that it has HTTP or HTTPS in the URL, probably using regex. I mean, it's always going to be at the beginning, so you just check to see, does it start with HTTP colon or HTTPS colon? You don't really need regex. Regex? Regex. Or for now, do you want to see how it looks, or do you want to see it work? And then he gave us the URL, the IP. And it did. It took us to Owen's website. This is a website. Your website's currently down though. We need to route a domain to the server when Rural is complete. There is no website yet, just the API. You have been tested, Thickdle. I have a bot. It does nothing, but it's a bot. Awesome. Well, you are welcome to use your bot in here. C isn't object-oriented. It isn't? Would you recommend Figma? Like, I'm not a designer, and I used Figma to try my hand at design because I want to do I want to get better at design. It's okay. I'll time out your bot if it gets too annoying. But anyway, so I tried a bunch of stuff. I've tried Adobe Illustrator. I've tried design, the other one, UX, UX, Adobe UX. Anyway, whatever their other one is called, that's specifically for making user interfaces and user experiences. And then I tried Figma, and I found Figma to be pretty easy to use. Still has a learning curve, and I don't know. I liked it for doing app design and stuff. So I guess overall, yeah, I'd recommend it. The other thing I like about Figma is they have like some places have community uh, boards. Is that what they're called? Community boards. Dude. Oh, here we go. So, for example, the mixed reality toolkit, they have a board. I don't know what these are called. They have a Figma Jam, I think, is what they're called, where you can clone it and then you can start making your own UI, UX stuff for using the mixed reality toolkit. And it'll be kept up to date with their latest designs and everything like that. So I like that a lot. Because then that means that I can just take this thing here, put it into my design, just copy pasta, and now I've put together my AR UX UI. Bob Ross is saying Figma is good. And his site has been down for 6 months. Daniel said, I'll make sure it's only reactive, but I won't be working on it right now. But thanks. Yeah, absolutely. Daniel said, I made one of my first CVs in manually written HTML and then printed it to PDF because me and Word didn't agree at the time. Speaking of design. And hello, Irish John. Oh man, a couple of quick shout outs for Thindel. He's working on converting legacy applications, legacy web applications to modern, and he's getting pretty close to being done with the initial conversion from web forms to MVC. Really, really close. And then I think he said he's going to Blazor from there. And then there is Irish John Games. And of course, my shout out thingy is only giving us the link to their pages, but Irish John Games is a game developer who is working on none other than the rise of piracy. So check it out on Steam. I will give his little spiel of what you can do. You can click on that link, it'll take you to Steam on the web, but there's this little button, if you're not logged in, that says open in Steam. Oh, there it is. Open in Steam, and that will open in your running Steam application. But yeah, check it out. It's coming out early access soon. S star star N. Add it to your wish list, which it is in mine already. Just check it out. It looks so freaking cool. It is a strategy type game, RTS, where you start from nothing and you choose your path on how to start trade, make money, get fame, wealth. You can even go the pirate route if you so felt like it, if that's how you wanted to make your money. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. That is so beautiful. Look at those clouds in the distance. So good. So good. The other person that was here not too long ago, BitGamey, another game developer working on a whole bunch of stuff. Working on a million, billion, trillion good little things. Um, but yeah. Bert? Yeah. Oh, his name is Bert? My name is Berto. Berto. Oh, yeah. Like he's had some help with some of the assets, like mostly the UI and everything. And everything. Mostly just the UI, but he is a solo dev. Yep. Berto? Yep. I got that one a lot. That's funny. And now Red Cabin Games is shouting him out. Not that I'm watching another stream while I'm talking with you guys. Yeah, it's short for Umberto. Umberto. He would never. But yeah, this is Big Gamey. He works on a game called I Am Dog. I Am a Dog. Which I still am not 100% sure what the game is and what it's about. But he's still a fantastic streamer, and I absolutely love hanging out on his stream. He's so cool. He's so nerdy too. So many good friends. So definitely check them out. Do do. Almost done with the web forms part to MVC. Next part is upgrading the data layer, and then I think I'm about ready to convert the outside to .NET 7. Yeah, are you still thinking of integrating little bits and pieces of Blazor? Because that sounds like a lot of fun. I love Blazor. It's such a good language framework. Language. I need to decide what we're doing next. Marcus says, speaking of Blazor, I created a video today to make it easier to understand how to use the aforementioned Blazor CRUD UI creator. So yesterday, he shared a repo. Unless the aforementioned is from earlier today, even. But yesterday he shared with us a repo where he has a code generator, essentially, not essentially, a code generator for doing all of his auto mapping profiles and stuff to go from one type to another, to go from an entity to a view model or DTO. At least I think that's what this was about, right? You can update me and fix me. Yeah, it's nice that you are adding a video to, like, I assume also that you are including that video in the repo. So yeah, if you want to check that out, here is the URL for the repo. Did you say URL? I never say URL. I mean, I say it, but to make fun of it. But now I guess it's starting to be the thing that I just say. That the URL. Who's Earl? He's the Duke, obviously. Bert. Anyway, functionality fine. Making it look presentable. Feck that. Did you just cuss? Yes, I did. Um, yes, but I pair with someone for UI because FUI. This is Irish John Games. Yeah, we are on a first name basis. Your first name is Irish. Your middle name is John. Your last name is Games. I just call you by your full name all the time. Crypto Racer was saying to Thindle, me too, because Thindle was like, I don't do UI, I do a pile of buttons and labels. That's kind of what this is. It's like I just threw something on here that kind of vaguely looks like the thing that I designed and allows me to test the functionality of the app. But we are going to do for real design implementation, make this look good. I really want to choose some better colors. So the thing that we just finished though is the logic for maintaining all of our lookup lists to include accounts as well. So if I wanted to create a new account, we have the logic there. We don't have any UI to do it, but we do have logic. So what I could do is, again, throw together throw together some UI for creating new records and then add a little plus sign next to all of my drop downs for being able to add new items. One 100% of the admin is going to be Blazor, and then outside is sticking to server generated MVC. You're going to have to tell me every time, Thindle. I apologize for making you repeat yourself, but I don't really remember. Oh, what did you miss? Because I responded to all of it. All of it. And what are you cooking? I love cooking. Cooking is so much fun. But yeah, if you're busy cooking, you definitely don't have to type or anything. Rice and chicken so far. And how do you? I want to know all about the cooking because I love food and I love cooking. But I will not bother you. I want to let you do your cooking. So feel free to share anything that you want to share, and also feel free to not share anything you don't want to share. What? Dump a ton of herb on it shortly. Yummy. Might go the curry route. So I had, oh, I can't remember the name of the pasta. It looks like rice. It's in little small bead looking things that had chicken breast. It kind of looks like tapioca, except that it's instead of perfectly round. Is it risotto? It might have been risotto. I think you're right. Oh, apron is the food for me. Hashtag not sponsored. I'm just going to my recipes to figure out what I just ate. That's upcoming. We need history. This stuff. What kind of pasta are you? Orzo. Gosh, that was really hard to remember. Um, so I had this, and this is caper and garlic and chicken breast and orzo. But the thing that I did slightly different is I mixed all of it together. So instead of the capers and garlic just being a topping, almost a sauce for the chicken, I mixed it into the rice and just mixed everything together. And it was so good. So, so good. Daniel says, I emptied out my fridge of stuff that had expired yesterday, so now I need to buy a ton of stuff that I can let expire. That's just going to sit there. And Deflex is like, and that's exactly what it looked like. In fact, I uploaded that picture. Wait, what? After I cooked it. Oh, to Blue Apron. That stuff looks like it'll overcook if you threaten it with water. What? Like you will be tasty or you're going in the pot. And bam, al dente. What's wrong with al dente? Al dente is so good. But yeah, super duper tasty stuff. Extremely tasty stuff. And the Italian seasoning that they give you with these things. This thing is so tasty. Actually, it was just oregano, I thought it was the whole Italian seasoning. Anyway, it's just oregano, just dried oregano. And supposedly this week, mm, my favorite sub sandwich with romaine. Oh my gosh. Looking forward to that. Oh my goodness. That looks so tasty. Anyway, tasty stuff. I love food. We're back. Welcome to the cooking channel with One Lion. In today's episode, we will be making a tomato sauce from scratch. I also enjoy eating tasty things. I mean, it'll be perfect by threatening it with the boiling water. If you actually put it in the water, it'll go mushy and overcooked. Oh, so like if you just kind of set it over the boiling water and then it cooks itself because it's like, oh poop. I'm scared. That's a bit of a stretch there, Thindle. A little bit of a stretch. They are not. They are I would say they're about a ½ inch long. And I'm no good with real world measurements, but yeah, a ½ inch seems right to me. They are not tiny grains. 10 millimeters. I have no idea. What size is orzo? Like I don't have anything to compare them to. It's like they don't put it next to anything. This looks like a baby spoon. But anyway, it's longer than long grain rice. How's that? Oh my goodness. We used to have leftovers of it. I thought the leftovers that we had were the oh, maybe we still have those. The noodles with the pork. Pork pork udon? Pork udon. What are we doing next? Where are we going next with this? We are done with the functionality. I can create a new record for paying to Vindies on 12/30, which is tomorrow, by the way. Damn it. I hate that. I really, really hate this date input, the default date input. All I wanted to do was just go back one number so that I could fix the year. So we're going to replace that with a better date input. And it cost $123 with tax of $40. Holy sh! And it posted yesterday. Oops, 28. And I paid for it from my loan account. Submit. Why didn't that work? Hello? Submit. Failed. I'm sorry, what? What? Oh, it's not running. Oh my gosh. Well, it worked on my machine. I really don't know what to do next. Uh, test stuff. Test stuff is what you do. Okay. So we have a post. We created a new record, but there was an error. There was a error. Greater than or equal validator. Haha, that's what I was hoping to see. So I tried to submit a new record with a posted date that is before the actual pay date, the purchase date. So I'm pretty much saying they took money out of my account before I even purchased the thing. So now what I want to know is, even though that gave me an error, if I fix this date, is it going to give me another error because the transaction date is in the future? No. No, it will not. And then if I refresh, are you going to show up in my list of transactions? Apparently my list of transactions isn't a real list of transactions. Bflex says I'm like tunning and half working. Tunning? Tunning. I don't know what tunning is. Half tuned in. And I'm like, who's screwed over the lion? Charges card without providing the goods. Let's hunt them down. Oh, he's testing his app. Yeah. Okay. We can at least check to see if my transactions table does have the new transaction record that I just added. And it does. No memo, no purge date, no nothing. And the reason that this table has a purge date field, by the way, is because instead of flat out deleting one of these, I'm going to retain it for a certain number of days in case the user didn't actually mean to delete that particular record. Then they can recover it. And I'm thinking somewhere between 2 and 5 days. But again, I also want the user to be able to set the number of days before a thing actually gets purged, before a transaction gets purged. And the reason it doesn't have a deleted flag is because we're just going to use the purge date column to indicate whether a transaction is being deleted or not. So let's see the payment details for this transaction as well. Which we don't know which of these payments it is because we need to know the payment record for transaction ID 3. Is that correct? Transaction ID 3. Yes, and that is ID 2. And so payment ID 2 has, oh, it's supposed to have 2 line items. Why do you only have 1? Oh, it does have 2. I'm so blind. Okay, so it has 2 line items, the subtotal and tax in the amounts of 123 and 40. Okay, so now what I think we're going to do next is get the UI to update the transactions table, or not table. It's a table, but the transaction history on successful submissions. I believe it. So let's do that. We're going to create a new branch. So there is something interesting that one of my teammates does. And I don't know if I like it or not. So let me know what your opinion is on this, if you have an opinion on it, or even if you feel like typing or not. But they don't create a new branch when they're starting to make changes to the project until they're ready to do their first commit. So, what do I mean by that? I mean that. So, first of all, I guess I should caveat that our main branch is locked. You can't commit directly to our main branch. So it's not like they would accidentally commit to the main branch. And the excuse me, the reason that they gave well actually uh yeah, it's not something to be guilty about, Deflux. Oh, okay. So yeah, so in your case, Deflux, maybe it is a guilty thing. If your main branch is not locked down to where you can't commit to it, and you start making breaking changes and you forget to create a branch, then yeah, that's going to be an issue. But, but if your main branch is uh, buckled down, buckled down, then you can work on whatever it is that you're doing until you're ready to do your commit, and then create your branch, bring the changes over, and commit. And the reason that he said he does that, oh, that's what I was going to say. Thindle, what is your reason for doing it? Where Thindle says that is a good idea, but I can never know if he's being sarcastic or not because it's Thindle crying wolf too often. I do that to all my personal projects too. Only time I unlock it is when I'm poking around at build workflows. If you do it by mistake, you don't. If you do it by mistake, and don't quote me on this, you get reset until your main branch commits are locked. Stage your changes, create a new branch, and then unstage and commit. It is a good idea. It forces me to not work in the production live stuff and enforces pull requests. So I'm not asking about locking the main branch. The thing that I'm asking about is starting to make your next set of changes. So you finished your feature or you finished your story or whatever it is that your branch was about. You've committed it, you've merged it, or you did a PR, you've merged it, and you're ready to do your next effort. Do you start that effort in main branch and make your code changes until you're ready to commit and then create a branch? Or do you create a branch first and then start making your code changes? That's what the question is. And then I guess just to say what the reason is that my coworker gave me that he does it is because we're a team of 4 developers, and if I'm working on a thing, then there is a fairly good chance that while I'm working on that thing, someone else has done a PR and merged into main with changes that I would want to bring over with me into my branch. Or maybe my branch is still waiting to be merged into master. And I want to continue work from where I was, like using all of the things that I just checked in, even though every commit or every PR is its own individual feature for us. So he is able to then, before creating his branch, do another git or pull, and then go over and create a new branch. So he's working on the latest master before his first commit. Ah, that's cool. No, I like this approach, Thindle. So Thindle is saying, I do everything in Azure DevOps, so I actually create a work item on the server and create a linked branch on the server, then do a fetch and then check it out locally from the server. Yeah, so the thing that I like about using DevOps with Visual Studio is even if you don't create the branch in DevOps, you could still associate the branch that you're currently working in with that work item, which is really cool. Really, really, really cool. Oh, within Visual Studio is what I meant to say. So, like from this Git changes window, you would have the option to associate your work with one of your work items. So anyway, that's all that I was wondering. Is that a thing? So for me, since my main branch is not locked, I am going to go ahead and create a new branch for this. It's just I never know what to call it. It's kind of like naming a chapter of a book before knowing what the contents of that chapter is going to be. Except that you can't, well, I guess you can go back and rename it to a degree. But anyway, that's just what it feels like to me. So this is going to be work for the table that shows the transaction history. So transaction history. Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So there's this thingy here in DevOps where you can link the commit, link the branch, whatever, link the PR. You choose what you want to link to it. But there is also in Visual Studio the same thing where you take the item number, the work log number, and then you just enter it into Visual Studio as you're doing your commit. Yeah, Git flow is there's a lot to it. And the team that I'm working on had made a case for not wanting to use Git flow. They prefer a different Git strategy. I didn't know about Git flow until 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago. I can't remember when I started asking you guys about it, and somebody pointed me to it. And I like Git flow. I happen to like it a lot. Where you kind of have like your own trunk, your dev branch is your trunk. It's a Git strategy for you have your release, your current stable release, your master app. Sorry, I said master. Your main app that is current stable production, and then you have this dev branch, and you only do work on dev branch. And if you're going to um, do a feature, you create a branch off of dev branch, and then when you're done with your feature, you merge into dev branch, and then when you're ready to do a release, you create a release branch or a release candidate essentially, and then you merge into your current production release. Or you could, even if you wanted to, go this far from your current master main, branch, you could create a version branch so that you can revert back to it. And then the only time that you do work on that main branch, the main trunk, is for hot fixes. Yeah, that's kind of the gist of it. That's what I understood about it. And then it has a pretty complex looking tree, and a couple of my teammates were not into that tree that gets generated by it. And it's like ours looks worse. And it's harder for us to revert. Much harder for us to revert, in my opinion. So anyway, transaction history. Transaction history. Transaction history refresh is what we're working. Oh yeah, and then naming your branches. So we're supposed to have work items for each of our branches, like either a story or a feature. Um, and what we've been what the suggestion was to name your branch work item number dash and then the name of the branch, which I'm going to get better at. But I just like calling it what it is. A lot of people use slash test for local testing and then slash stage and slash production. Both stage and production use the exact same CD pipeline. Stage is prod, but one step ahead. Test is local. Testing before going into stage. Develop is feature done, but testing is so so. Should work though. Yeah, I do like that. I like it a lot. Okay. Um, Closing everything because I want to start over. We're doing UI work on not like UI work, but interactivity UI stuff on paid transaction history and the transaction history grid, and it's C# stuff. So that whenever we do, yeah, so the first thing that we want is to make sure that we get the actual transactions list from the database. That's where it has a database. From the server. Should work would mean I think it works, but the pesky testers haven't started poking holes in it yet. I have a love-hate relationship with testers. I the thing that I don't like is I will implement a thing. I will make some change and I will commit it. I will say it is feature complete. I will have done some rudimentary testing on it. I always mix up the word rudimentary and remedial. I'll do some rudimentary testing on it, make sure that it looks fine and it behaves as expected, and I've taken care of just the obvious things. And that goes into our main branch before our tester sees it. And I don't like that. It's like, I really, really would like for there to be all right, here is what you should be working off of when you are doing testing. And then only when you have approved and done the testing on this specific feature should it go into the main branch. It sounds like they're not end users finding the bugs, but they have a tendency to find too many bugs. Your testers. They're just, yeah. I'm too busy writing functionality and doing my best to consider everything that I can that I still miss out on some of the details and overlook things. So it's nice to have testers. It's very nice to have testers. So we have pull requests, but that's just other devs doing code review and hopefully test running it. Usually, yeah. And we do have pull requests, and we have to have it reviewed by at least one other developer. And the way that I do the reviews is I check out their branch, build, run it, see if the feature that they are working on works, see if anything that I'm working on breaks from their branch, and then I either give feedback or approve it. Then it says I tend to click approve and autocomplete right away. I've worked a lot as a tester for apps. It is a skill you get better at after a while. And then hope the build passes. Oh, Prog Testing said I have your names are the same color. I've worked a lot as a tester for apps. It is a skill you get better at after a while. And then Thindle said, and then hope the build passes. And my current customer, one dev, and the architect needs to approve everything. We don't have an architect, and they're crazy strict on the code style. Like I tried to adopt the team's current code style, but because all of the UI work that I did, pretty much all of the work that I did, I created an entire UI library along with a whole bunch of shared classes and other shared libraries that I just used my coding style, which used to be, by the way, two space tabs, curly brace on the same line, which I still love the most, but at minimum, I put curly brace on new lines for space tabs. But yeah, there's still so many things that we do differently that I'm like, oof, oof, I don't want to look at that. Anyway, um, we need to get the transactions list from. Whoa. We need to get the transactions list from the server. All right, we're going to do it like this. We're going to do deposits. We need payment trans task. Um, do I even have that? Okay. So we need payments and transfers. So payment entry view model, transfer entry view model, value payment transaction service, transfer transaction service. So tiny things that rip me up, says Thindle. Instead of interface, I thing repository and class thing repository. They want thing repository and class concrete thing repository. Huh? That one didn't make sense to me. And thank you so much, Andy Cesaris. Casetis. Case. Prez. Casetis. Casetis. Anyway, let me know if I'm saying your name right. If you feel like it, you definitely don't have to chat. Unless you feel like correcting me. But thank you, Andy, for the follow. They don't want an interface. They want an abstract class and a concrete implementation. I'm not angry at that. Um, I have been preferring interfaces over abstract classes because most of the time I don't have the same logic to be used across multiple classes, multiple implementations of it. It's usually just one interface and two separate implementations. So, like for my service classes, for example, I'll have a server side implementation that does stuff directly with the file system, with the database, with whatever. And then on my client side, if I'm using something like Blazor WebAssembly, then I'm doing an API request, a HTTP request for the same exact methods for that interface. And it's just when I'm running the application, am I injecting the client side version or am I injecting the server side version? I should say sync. I'm going to duplicate you so I don't have to remember your name. I'm going to call you trans task and transactions. And we're going to get one for transfers. And yeah, I really don't know if using abstract classes, what the impact of that is on testing, but I do know that it's easy to test when you use interfaces because then you can easily create your own implementation. So Lemons Galore is asking, am I doing it wrong by naming my services underscore payment service? No, not at all. So these are private though, but these are essentially properties, and properties have first cap. They have Pascal case. However, if we are inside of something like a controller, for example, in the Blazor server hosted servers thing, then your variable is going to be a private field most likely. You're getting it dependency injected and then it's getting assigned as a private field. So private fields get the underscore camel case um, pattern naming convention. Yeah, cool. So you're doing it right. Or you're doing it the standard way. There are arguments on whether it is the right way or not. And yeah. Yeah, since these are properties, then they get the Pascal case. Okay, so we're going to go await task when all dep trans task, payment trans task, transfer trans task. That way they can all run at the same time. And you are not supposed to be await. Then we can set these equal to dep trans task.result. You're going to be payment. You're going to be transfer. Because lazy. So lazy. So lazy. So many people miss that little detail and just wait each line instead of running them concurrently. Yeah, I mean they're completely independent tasks that do different things, and you can just do them all at the same time. One will not affect the other. So then we'll do Like the other thing that I would want to do is because it's going to be exactly the same logic. I'm going to write it out manually first, but it's going to be the same logic essentially, which is add IEnumerable of transaction. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So it's going to be add to transactions. I may as well write it now because I just now thought of it. We're going to have a method somewhere down here. Get sorted probably before all of these would make most sense. Before the handlers. Why is sort columns way down here? Sort columns, where are you way down there? Where do I want you? Hucky ducky. So right here, we'll have a private void because we won't need to use async in this. Add transactions to list. I'm good at naming things. Can you tell? IEnumerable of transactions. If transactions is null, then we initialize transactions to be whatever we pass in .toList. Otherwise, we add the list of, or IEnumerable of transactions to the existing list. Very good. So the first thing that we do here is we clear out our transactions, which we can use default for that. I could just use .clear, but it's also possible that transactions will be null to begin with. So I don't know. Would I be able to do !.clear without it yelling at me? Cool. Okay, so when we're refreshing the list, we know that we're going to only ever clear out the list and then get the new list of transactions every time. However, if I did this correctly, it is possible, it is possible to have an as of date. So I don't have to clear out the list. Instead, I could just say, as of the most recent transaction that I have pulled. Do I want to do that? I think I want to do that. So add transactions to list. I think I want to do that. We'll go ahead and do it now then. If depth result.data is not null, then we don't need to worry about this because deposits is not null. Okay, so now my next question is, do I end up happy? What? Do I know how to turn this into a reusable method as well? Really interesting that I'm tracking deposits and why am I tracking deposit view model? We need to figure that out. Payment. Payosits. Payments. and transfer tra, which all of my triazets are transfers. Copy. Pasta. Yeah, I don't quite know why I'm keeping the individual sets. But I guess we're gonna figure that out together. Dindo says, okay, so here's a real problem. I'm getting hungry and I wasn't kidding earlier about emptying out my fridge. Am I binding to it somewhere? I don't think so. I really don't know where I'm using it. So far in this code behind file, I'm not using it anywhere else other than assigning to it. And in the Razor page, I'm not using it either. So I honestly don't know. So I'm going to get rid of it. And actually, not even going to assign it. Okay, does that take care of all of that? It is. Okay, so we're going to do the thing where we only get the transactions as of a specific date. Cool. And the way that we're going to do that is we don't need the random dates anymore because we're actually getting the data from the server. The way that we're going to do that is we're going to say if transactions is question mark dot any false, then as of date is going to be if transactions question mark any is false or any is true, then it's going to be the max transaction date from our list of transactions. Otherwise, it's going to be min value. Actually, it's going to be null. It's going to be default of. Can you do default of date time? Yeah, you have to be default of date time nullable to make sure that this will be null date time instead of default date. Because when we provided a null date, it will just ignore that completely. Oh, Andy said, I don't know .NET. You don't need to. I highly encourage you to learn it if you're interested in it. We have a wonderful community. If you feel like joining us on Discord, that are very encouraging. They're also very sarcastic and pretty fun to be around. So take us with a grain of salt or a teaspoon of sugar. But yeah, if you're interested in any kind of software development, it doesn't even have to be .NET. I just happen to be a .NET developer, and I advocate for doing .NET development because it's so much fun. It's such a robust language. It's just awesome. You can do so much with it. But any type of software development, uh, you will find encouragement on our server. We will make fun of JavaScript, but who doesn't? Wait, what? I'm kidding. Is .NET better than JavaScript, says Fancy Yellow? For me, yes, because I know .NET better. I know. Oh, it was answered. Thanks. I will not say that it is definitively because, I mean, there are people that are super proficient with JavaScript and they can write super clean, efficient code using JavaScript frameworks, using vanilla JavaScript, using just HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and make some amazing applications. But I have found .NET to be my home. It is very, very, very fun, very robust, very easy to make stuff, and very easy to screw stuff up too. Like, it's not perfect. It's not the perfect framework. It's not the perfect ecosystem, but it is really good. Lots of really good. Anyway, did this give me all of my transactions? Let's find out together, shall we? Oh, I didn't actually apply the as of date. Okay, so what this should do is the first time we load the page, it should get all of our transaction data, or this component, I should say. We should get all of the transaction data, deposits, payments, and transfers. Then the next time that we do any kind of refresh, it should only get any new transactions as of um, the most recent date. Problem is that I'm not calling this refresh anywhere. So let's just make sure that the first one works to begin with. I don't know English either. That is completely okay as well. You don't have to be proficient in English to ask a software development question. Yeah. I'll do my best to understand anything that you're asking, and I'll ask for clarification if I don't understand. The only thing that matters is whether or not you are finding some benefit to pursuing software dev. Okay, transactions. I am missing a lot of information from my transactions. We're missing the account name, we're missing the payee name, if it had a memo, which none of the things I entered had a memo. But we do have two entries, and we are able to change the sort. I don't have filters set up yet. You can also change the sort by clicking on the column headers, except when they're coming back as null, and then you'll get an error. So yeah, I don't know where all of that is. I'm pretty sure ChatGPT operates in other languages. I think I saw somewhere on there that it said it did. Excuse me, ChatGPT. Do you um, in other languages? Yeah, in a variety of languages, I can provide information and assistance in English, French, Spanish, Chinese, and many other languages. Yeah, and the Microsoft Docs are also in many different languages. So the other thing is, I won't say fully well documented, but it is some pretty good documentation on .NET libraries. Sometimes the translations do look like they just send it through some automated translate thing. Sometimes it looks like it was hand translated and done better. Wait, what? You just said two different things, Deflux. You just said also all of Microsoft Docs for .NET are in like all languages. Oh wow, because that's a big problem. for people who are not strong English speakers. It sucks because a lot of times docs are only. Oh, you're just talking about other docs. That makes more sense. Gomenasai. Sorry, I don't speak English very well, or I don't read English very well. I don't read very well at all. I need to figure out why the account names are not showing up. And I think it has to do with to entity model. Yeah. Wait, no. Wait, yeah. Wait, what? Why are you angry at that? Oh. Wait, what? Implicitly typed variables cannot have multiple declarators. Oh, okay. Are we good now? I'm. I had one too many. I had one too many. Oh, I don't care about populating the account type. Maybe I do. And why are you nullable? String.empty. All right. Anyway, let's just see if this at least gives us some account names down here. It does not. So then what are you using for the account name column? Target account name for transfers. Yeah, regular account name, which is not a thing. Why isn't it a thing? iTransaction data entry view model. Sorted transactions to view model. That's even worse. We go from the view model to the entity model back to the view model. Where's this? It sounds inefficient. Miskoshi. Can't name. Actually, let's just do both. Model dot account ID, account name, model dot account name. Are you nullable? No, it's not nullable. This is a deposit. Oh, target account value would be this, obviously. Obviously. Yeah, so I'm going to need to add the accounts for all of these, but we're going to have to do that tomorrow. It's the model view. It's the view model view model pattern. Thank you, Scott. Thank you for making me feel better. I've come up with the perfect pattern. Bob Ross is saying, to be honest, building an API in Rust is actually quite simple and thorough. Prog testing is asking, do you mean controller? I don't know. But you know what? I'm going to have to end the stream there. I didn't realize that we were already at 10 minutes past when I should normally quit and get back to work. So I need to get back on the clock. MVVM model, view model, and also view model. And thank you so much, Wixata. Wixata. Anyway, thank you so much for the follow. I will be back again tomorrow, same bat time, same bat place. I'm wearing the Batman shirt. I had to say it. So yeah, 10:30 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time, Mountain Standard Time, which is UTC -7 currently, and that would be 2 hours ago is when I would start, except tomorrow. So I guess 22 hours, 23, 21 hours and 50 minutes from anyway. Tomorrow at night, 10:30. And I'll be lurking around other people's stream. Feel free to hang out with me over. I'm currently watching Red Cabin Games. I might also be checking out the Visual Studio channel depending on what they're talking about. Oh, is this the dude that was working in Unity for the multiplayer game? I might want to finish watching his stuff. He has some really cool stuff. But yeah, Red Cabin Games is a game dev. I'll be on Irish John's channel when he starts streaming again. Anyone else that I happen to see streaming that I enjoy watching, I'll be hanging out there. Yeah, Red Cabin Games, just like that. But other than that, I'm going to be tutorialing, so their streams will most likely be muted for me while I tutorial some stuff for the metaverse. Because I will be looking into building products for the metaverse very soon. Very soon. Like within the next couple months. It's so weird. Okay, but until next time, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. And will join me again sometime in the future whenever you happen to be able to. And yeah, so I'm going to set up a raid. And if you feel like it, hang out with me on the raid and we'll head over to his channel. All right, that's it for me for today. I will see you guys again in the future. Ciao for now. I mean, maybe it was in the past, but for our experience of how time works, it's the future. Bye. Tschüss. Music. Mike.